I am extremely stressed out. And I don't come on here and cry and do all of that. But what the fuck? I work 5 to 6 days out of the week, and I only barely have enough money to pay my bills. Somebody's gonna get on here and say, oh, well, be lucky you have a job, bro. Working a job, going to a job, getting up every morning, every night, whatever time you go, and having to give your all or do your best at this fucking job just for them not to compensate you enough money for you to live your life and pay your bills, it's actually really up fucking setting me. I feel like I'm missing out on living life because I have to pay my bills and go to work every fucking day. Such a tiring process. Now, I could see if I was lazy, I wasn't getting up and I wasn't getting it, but it's like, bruh, how fucking hard do I have to work in order to fucking survive, bro? How? Once I pay my rent and my phone bill, my light bill.
Hey TikTok, I'm just on here wondering if anybody's feeling the same way I'm feeling. I'm from Illinois, and I feel like the gas prices and the electric bills and the prices of food is just so overwhelming anymore. Like, I'm wondering if anybody else is feeling like they're drowning and they can't get out. I work overtime, and I cannot get above water. I mean, I literally have no gas for next week. It was either that or get a few groceries to get by. I hit my local food pantries. I'm just wondering if anybody else feels like they're drowning. But anyway, I hope everybody has a great day.
Right, so we've come up Rivington. Sun's come out. Just what we like. Tyson's loving his life. Just having a bit of a shit time recently on my own. It's just really difficult sometimes being on your own, working, having a mortgage, having all your bills, and then not earning enough money then to like barely live for the month. So the last 2 months I've had £400 a month to live on. So you just think, by the time you've done your food shopping for the month, paid for the dog walker so I can go to work, drive to work with petrol in my car, then expected to use my car for work, so I have to put petrol in again and only get that back at the end of the month. It's just really difficult. I suppose when you're used to being in a relationship where, you know, your joint income is probably take home £5,000 a month after tax between two of you, it's just then difficult going to being on your own and having £400 a month to live on after you've paid all your bills and your mortgage. So you just can't save, got no savings. So if all happens, so it's just really difficult at the minute. So I'll have to look at what I can do about that. But yeah, we're just out walking up river.
Well, you can't really blame them. All independent women are feeling the pressure in 2026. Times are changing, and the dating landscape is shifting fast.
Being a single mom in this economy in 2026 feels like running a marathon while carrying groceries and kids and bills and trauma and pretending you're fine. Making every decision alone while paying rent and bills, working 40 hours a week and still prioritizing your mental and physical health, still trying to go to the gym and eat right, still trying to socialize while your nervous system is constantly in survival mode. 0 out of 10. I don't recommend. Then, I come on fucking TikTok for a little dopamine hit. I'm seeing ICE fucking this fucking world up. Oh my God. And we can't even afford to be burnt out, literally. Gotta go to work. And ain't nobody clapping for you, bitch. You either sink or you swim. But on the bright side, at least I don't have no nigga ruining my peace, adding on more stress on top of all this bullshit. Shit, we made it to 2026, nigga. We gonna make it. We got this, y'all.
You might feel sympathy, but it's hard when people are dealing with the consequences of their own choices. It raises a question. Why take on responsibilities, like having kids, if you're not prepared to handle your own expenses? Sometimes reality hits hard, and it's a lesson in accountability.
Gaslighting us single people have to go through. Because let's be honest, a lot of the things that our friends in relationships can get for free, we have to pay for. And there's no amount of self-love or therapy that can kind of circumvent the frustration that being single is very expensive. Because if, an example, I am sick, I don't have anyone who can cook for me. My friend can ask her boyfriend to cook for her. I have to DoorDash something. If I need help moving something in my house, I need to go find someone and pay that person to come over and move it. Well, my friend can just ask her partner. And all those things just add up. If you lose your job, you have someone who can help you with rent. If you are having like financial trouble or health trouble, you now need to like disclose that to your family or friends, which might be embarrassing, or you can tell your one husband or your wife to help you through that. It is so frustrating to have to go through so many things alone and make these really big decisions, hard decisions completely by myself. I have my friends, I have my family, I love them, I can lean on them, but maybe I don't want to tell them all about my finances. Maybe I don't want to have to over-explain my entire health condition to them. Maybe I just need someone to help me with a real quick task that I don't want to have to pay someone or wait for someone to drive across town to come help me. And it is so frustrating because we're told that, being single is great. And it's really great when compared to an unhealthy relationship. But being single is not always better than having a healthy relationship. Don't get me wrong, I am not going to go hop into a relationship with a man just so I can have someone. But I do think we need to be honest that being single, while it can be really great, is also very impractical sometimes.
I need a sugar daddy that don't want no sugar because, baby, I'm tired of spending my own money. No questions asked, no extra bullshit. Just send me the money. I get mad every time I gotta swipe my card. Being a woman is expensive and I always need stuff, but why I gotta spend my own money? I should be living a very soft life. Every time I look at my bank account, I get pissed off because why? Am I the only one that feel like this? I'm sick of it at this point.
I just had my friend ask me, am I off at all this week, knowing that she knows that I work every day. I was not playing. It was not an exaggeration. And I said, no. And she goes, why? I said, I stop working. I go hungry. There is not a man waiting at home for me to feed me. Both of my best friends have their men pay for the house they live in.
I am so tired of living my life in survival mode because despite having 2 college degrees and making close to $80,000 a year, I still cannot keep up with the cost of living. I still cannot afford all of my bills every month and have to live paycheck to paycheck. I think that's absolutely ridiculous. I am sacrificing my mental health, my time, and my energy to take care of people in their most vulnerable moments, and a lot of the time they do not make it. At the very least, I should be able to pay my bills. And for anyone who's thinking, oh, well, you shouldn't have chose that job, somebody has to do it. And you know damn well, if your loved one was critically ill, you would want somebody to take care of them, right? Something has to give. I cannot keep doing this.
Nobody is talking about how expensive it is to be single, okay? Because when you're single, you don't have anybody that's out here buying you food, helping you with the bills, and if something breaks, you don't have no handy dandy man around the house that's like, oh, I got it, babe, I'll fix it when I get home, or whenever he decide to fix it. No, you either got to get on YouTube University or you got to go pay somebody. You got to go pay somebody else's man to come in your house and fix it for you. It's too expensive to be single, and people want to be out here cheating, and you better lock you one person down because it's too expensive out here to be alone, okay? Don't just go lock down anybody, make sure they respectful and they love you, but y'all also got to understand it's a business. A relationship is really a business, okay? You got to invest in one another, and I need somebody to come invest into me because it's expensive to be single. Yeah, I want somebody to buy me some food, pick me up some food on the way home, or buy me something just because. I don't know.
Let's be real. For a woman, being single comes with its own expenses. But for a man in a relationship, it can get even more costly. You're not just covering your own bills, sometimes theirs too. And here's the truth. Not every relationship is about love. Some people care more about what you bring to the table. Those who expect you to pay for everything, let's call it what it is, financial freeloading. End of story.
So this is real talk. Is anybody else feeling like overwhelmed and like a failure? Cause I am. Yeah, so I haven't been able to pay my student loans in months. Even though I've been a public educator, I don't meet the minimum the minimum whatever payment history or whatever to qualify. I don't have car insurance right now. I can't make my car payment. I went to school to be a librarian. That was my safe place, my home away from home. And I'm entirely burnt out by the society that we live in. I'm really burnt out. And I just feel like I didn't think my life was going to be like this. I thought, I worked hard. I got my bachelor's degree. I got my master's degree. I'll be able to buy a house and live comfortably. And I'm literally breaking my body to make my minimum credit card payments. I never thought this would be my life. And I just feel like every time I try something, I just fail at it. And that's really hard to deal with. I'm also dealing with a dysfunctional family member. So living at home isn't an option. How am I as a single individual supposed to afford rent? How am I supposed to afford food, utilities? And now they've made homelessness illegal? Great. How am I supposed to afford basic necessities? Yeah. I'm just feeling overwhelmed and I just feel like a failure.
Here's a question to consider. Why take on so many loans without a clear plan to pay them back? Or were you just hoping someone else, maybe a partner, would come in and rescue you? Accountability matters, no matter what.
Okay, something I feel like that's not talked about enough on this app is being single and financially how hard it is. I literally work 2 jobs. I work in sales and I teach Pilates part-time. Both of the jobs pay pretty well, but still I feel like it's so hard to stay afloat. And don't get me wrong, I like to ski. I definitely don't live a frugal life. I have a nice apartment. Never say no to plans, but how are people doing it? How are you attending everyone's bachelorette parties, everyone's birthday dinner, going on all of these trips with your friend and having leftover money to spend on yourself? Completely stopped doing my hair so that saves some money. Truly exhausting. I just don't understand it.
Speaking for all the single men out there, we really can't relate to all that financial stress. Being single comes with its perks, especially saving a ton of money. Sometimes independence really does pay off.
I just want to remind people that being single is a luxury and you need to start treating it as that. You literally don't know when's the last day you're going to be single. You can get into a relationship tonight, tomorrow, next month, next year, whatever the case may be. You should need to enjoy this moment right now because one day you're going to find your for-lifer. You might get married, you might have kids, you might not, whatever, but you might find your partner and that's the last time you're going to be single. People need to start enjoying themselves, enjoying their own company, and that's it.
That whole conversation just didn't seem to register for some people. And it shows. When people ignore advice, struggle to make rational decisions, it often leads to frustration and unhappiness later on, especially when the guidance had already been shared with them.
I think there are a lot of people out there who think that being a single person is really easy financially because they're like, oh, well, you only have to pay for yourself. And wrong. Yeah, I do only have to pay for myself, which means I have to pay for my rent entirely by myself. I don't split it with a partner. my council tax bill, even though there's only one person, is only discounted by 25%. So if you're splitting your bill down the middle with a partner, I'm still paying more than you individually. My energy bills, yeah, okay, I pay less than you, but I'm not paying half because most of that cost is a standing charge. If I want to go on holiday, I have to pay for the room or the cabin entirely by myself. If I want to get a mortgage, I have to have a bigger deposit, and I can't get approved to borrow as much because I only have one income. Like, financially, is really, really difficult to be a single person, and I think more people need to remember that when they're talking to their single friends.
You asked for autonomy, then you have to own the consequences. Independence isn't about picking and choosing what's convenient. True freedom comes with accountability, no exceptions.
It is so expensive to be single and to pay for all of these expenses by yourself. For context, I do live in the Bay Area, so it is hella expensive to live here, but this is essentially how much I pay in a month by myself. Close to $4,000 if I'm lucky. And again, it's not that I can't pay for these things, because obviously I'm out here living and thriving and a little hungry, but it's fine. However, it's usually the things that I don't account for on the monthly that like internally kills me. Like, for example, emergencies. Y'all, it's not only like costly, but the emotional expense to doing it by yourself.
Men go about life, work hard, and handle responsibilities without making a fuss. Yet, some people seem to complain about what's needed just to be independent. Thriving shouldn't require constant complaints, but here we are, observing the irony.
I feel like nobody's talking about this, so I am going to. Why is this that being single is actually so expensive? I have signed up for every hobby you could think of. I have gone on yoga retreats. I have signed up for surfing. I have signed up for pottery, hot yoga, hot Pilates, sitting at coffee shops. I physically have been trying to pour into my cup and fill up my free time, but I didn't know how expensive that this was going to be. And I physically and financially can just not anymore. I don't know what else to do. I can't believe that this is what life has come to.
Some people want everything handed to them, but don't want to handle the cost themselves. When reality hits and they have to manage on their own, suddenly the confident image isn't so unshakable. Strength isn't just a facade. It shows when you face challenges head on. Thanks for watching. If you want access to exclusive episodes and support the channel, hit the join button and become a member. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share if this video resonated. Drop your stories and thoughts in the comments. We read every single one. See you tomorrow.